So I thought I'll make a short video about driving in Europe, especially for people coming from India. I'll just cover the basic rules, which should be enough if you're renting a car and want to drive around or something. So rule number 1, you drive on the right. That's an obvious thing, and it's not that difficult. You just tend to follow the traffic, so you don't get that urge to go to the left or something. But while driving, one thing you need to keep in mind is when you're driving in India, you're sitting on the right side of the car, so you have the bigger portion of the car to your left. But here it's the other way around, so you just need to be aware of it, that a lot of your car is towards your right and not the left. That's pretty much it. Apart from that, you'll easily get by driving on the right. It's no big deal. And if you're on a motorcycle, it's even easier. There's hardly any difference. Okay, so that's rule number 1. And rule number 2, traffic lights. So it's just red, orange, green. Pretty much means the same thing, I guess, anywhere in the world. When you're taking a left, when you have a green, it's also green for the guy coming from the front who is going straight, like these guys. So you need to wait for them to go first, and then you can go to your left. So the moment they are done with, you can go. And rule number 3, junctions and priorities. That is something, there is no definite rule in India. The louder, faster, bigger, heavier vehicle wins the priority. That doesn't work like that here. So here the general rule is, in a junction, if there are no traffic signs, the guy coming from the right has a priority. So you have to stop, let him go, and only then you continue. It might seem a bit weird, but that works. That's how it's always been here. And even if you see this sign on the junction, even that means the same. You have to stop and give priority to that guy. But in this road, you see that diamond sign above the 70 speed limit over there. That means you're on a priority zone, and you don't have to give priority to anybody. You just keep going straight, and all these junctions from the right, they have to wait for you. And you see those diamond sign on most of the main streets. There is this list of signs which I just put on the side. If you see any of those, then again you have the priority. You don't have to stop. The diamond indicates the zone for the whole road, whereas this sign indicates it's only for that particular junction. So in the next junction, if there is no such symbol, that means the other guy has a priority and you have to stop. I hope I'm not confusing you guys. In a junction, if you're not sure about the priority, whether you have it or the other guy has it, you can watch for those shark teeth you see on the edge, and also this triangle sign. So that means I don't have any priority. This triangle sign and that shark teeth. Rule 4, pedestrians. So here, unlike India, they are not the road users with the least priority. Here they are the highest. For example, if there is a zebra crossing and if somebody is waiting to cross the road, then you have to stop. You have to stop, let them go, and then continue. That is something you will find completely different. And when I was first here, I was like, I was not sure. I was standing near a zebra crossing thinking whether I had to cross or not. And the cars were coming and stopping. So I was like, whoa, now I have to cross because they're waiting for me. Anyways, you can make hand signs and tell them to go. So that is something you'll find really, really odd, giving so much importance to pedestrians. But that's how it should be, because they are the most vulnerable road user. And same with the cyclists. After pedestrians, it's the cyclist. And as you can see, this road has a cycle lane on the side. So obviously vehicles are not allowed to go there. And even if there is no cycle lane, you have to wait behind them if there is no space to overtake. So they get the priority over there. In the order of importance, it's pedestrians, cyclists, and other smaller two-wheeler, moped and things like that. And after that, the four-wheelers, and yeah, then pretty much everything is in the same category. Unlike India, where Those loud and fast buses are the highest priority. Then comes the speeding cars and others. Then there's moped, two-wheeler, and then the cyclist, and then the pedestrian. Nobody cares about pedestrians. Honking. Oh, how did I miss? Rule 5. No honking. This should have been the rule 1 actually. So here, honking has a very different meaning compared to India. Here it's like you do that only when the other guy is about to make a mistake, or you're really trying to warn some possible accident. It's only in such serious situations you use honk. And if you honk, the other guy will actually take it as an insult. So it's as good as, abusing or swearing them. It's as good as that. So that is why you very rarely see any honk. And also if there is any turn on the road, you don't have to honk to prove that you're there. You just go. And here on blind corners nobody overtakes. As far as I know, I've never seen anybody take such risks. Whereas in India, people do that all the time. They just take that risk. So that is why in India you honk whenever there's a turn to say that you're there. Whereas here it doesn't work like that. You don't have to do that. Especially in the beginning it felt so weird for me not to honk, but you get used to it. In fact, on this bike, I've owned it for, 25 days now. I've never honked even once. Next rule, speeding. The thing is this, when the road has a speed limit of 50, and in this case this road is 50, everybody does 50. It's not like somebody does 20 and the other guy does 10 or 30, things like that. People don't do that. So when everybody goes at 50, it maintains a nice flow. That's really a good thing about the traffic here. So there is always a smooth flow. The same applies everywhere. If it is 70, almost everybody does 70. You can be sure of that. And same on the motorway. Apart from trucks and buses, which are supposed to go at 90, rest all of them go at almost 120-ish. 120 is the limit, but people usually go up to 140, 150 wherever it's empty and they know that there is no speed cameras. So that's the way it works. So the speed limit is not an advisory maximum speed limit the way it is treated in India. Here the speed limits are kind of like what you're supposed to do. You rarely have to overtake. There are very few cases you have to overtake unless you want to do more than the specified speed. And in Belgium there are lots of automated speed cameras. If you see on the center of this road, you see those grey poles and a thing on top. That's a speed camera. And this black and white board which says Leuven. Leuven is the name of the town. That means the speed is 50. It was also put on the road in case you missed it. So wherever you see that board, it automatically becomes 50. See, there are 2 more speed cameras here. Belgium is like filled with speed cameras. And this sign indicates the end of town limit. So the speed goes back to 90, which is the general speed limit in Belgium for a single lane road. And in Belgium it's so not worth it. Even for 1 kmph higher, you pay 50 euros. And it goes like the next one is 150 or something, then 200, 300, it just keeps climbing. So speeding is definitely not worth it. It's even worse in Switzerland. It's much more expensive there. So you need to watch your speed. It's not like India where nobody really cares about speeds, or only in cities some cops watch. So rule 7, lane discipline. That again is a difficult one for Indians. So if you see, the leftmost one is only to go left, these two are to go straight. And if you come here and you realize that you have to take a left, don't do it. Go straight till the next legal U-turn and then come back and then take a right later. That's something, again, you need to keep in mind. And the other thing about lanes is this: you always have to be on the rightmost lane, and the lane next to you is just for passing. So in this case, the speed limit is 90, so we are all going at 90. If somebody wants to really go at 100, 110, he can go on this lane. and as long as all are doing 90, you just stick to the rightmost lane. The same applies on motorways as well. If you're doing 120, you better be on the rightmost lane. If there are some cars which are slower, you are free to overtake by choosing the middle lane or the left one, but always try to be on the rightmost one. And on single lane roads like these, when you see these dotted lane separators, you can overtake. You're free to go to the other side and overtake them. But if it is solid, then you can't. You might also see such boards on the side of the road which indicate that you can't overtake them. That is again a point to keep in mind. So right now it is solid, so that means you can't overtake. You just can't go to the other lane at all. You have to keep going straight. If there is somebody slow in front of you, you can't help it. You have to follow them. Rule number 8. So motorcycles are allowed to filter or lane split. Not in all European countries, but most of them, as far as I know, allow that. It's legal. That is something when you're in a car you have to be aware of, that motorcycles can actually come in between the lanes. And another thing, just if possible, most rentals will have GPS like this as an option when you rent. So please do get that. It really helps. It really helps. The signal is always very stable as long as you're outdoors, and it also has information like speed, which you can see it shows it is 90. So in case you don't know what's the speed limit, you can just check it up on the GPS. And it's not 100% accurate, but most of the time it is. So that really helps. And many of them also show the lanes which you have to take to go on your required direction. So that again really helps. GPS is a must. It is a must. So that's pretty much all that I had to say regarding the basic rules. So if there is anything else, or if you need more details, just send me a message or comment below the video and I'll try my best to reply. I'm no expert, but with whatever I know, I'll try to help you out. And if you're planning a trip in Europe, I just wish you a great time. There are some fantastic roads, there are some fantastic places to visit. So, good luck.